Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2 on the SEGA Dreamcast. I am one Welsh Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the bonus content of the game, show off some of the stuff that we missed out during the course of our adventure so far. And basically, to start things off, there are a couple of mini-games that we have yet to really see for the most part, and we also have a boss rush mode that I'm not really going to touch upon because it's boss rush. But we have the ability now that we've played through both storylines of the main game alongside the final story to do kart racing. And this is exactly as you would think. You can pick between any of the characters through the main storyline, each of which have their own unique stats, and we get a number, well, I say a number, we get 3 courses to choose from, which all vary in difficulty, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And this basically is a proper kart racing game, you know, kind of like Mario Kart, except nowhere near as fun as Mario Kart, where you just need to face the AI, and you need to race and try to reach first place in every single race, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to, you don't even need to bother with this racing segment, you know, you can skip this entirely, unless you are going for every single emblem in the game. If you are collecting everything in the game, you will need to do this car racing minigame, and you will need to accomplish it, because otherwise you won't be able to unlock everything, and that's no good. So, you know, this is a thing that a lot of people may forget exists. This is something that a lot of people probably don't even bother with their time for the most part. And you can tell the controls are awkward as all hell, just because the AI themselves are struggling to stay straight on the damn road. But yeah, like I said, you do need to do this if you want to unlock every single thing in the entire game, which, you know, some people may elect not to do, because it takes time, it takes effort to unlock everything in this game. It's a really, really monumental task, because there are so many things to do in this game to collect all the emblems. There's so many things to do to collect everything. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend the average person to go out and get 100% in this game. This is one of the few games I would say 100% is not worth it, because you get like one bonus level and a hell of a lot of time wasted. I tell you that much. It's ugh. I'll talk more about that bonus level when we get to that, because I am showing that off. But yeah, we do get to do these car racing things, which I think are a nice side distraction if you want to do them. But again, the fact that they're mandatory to collect every single thing in the game is a little bit off-putting in my professional opinion, I'll tell you that much. I do believe you can also play this on multiplayer as well, but I've never really experienced that, because good luck me getting friends that want to play this in 2-player mode. In fact, all of Sonic Adventure 2 does support a 2-player mode, as you know, in and of itself, but I don't want to nag my friends to show off 2-player mode properly, you know, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm not really going to be tackling that for the LP. But we're moving on into stage select. As you can clearly tell, we have access to A ranks and every single mission in the game complete. Now, I could have done this on screen, but let's face it, I'm not doing that, because all of these A rank missions I got years ago, and I don't want to do it again. It's the best way I can put it. I don't want to do these again, and they're a pain in the ass to get hold of, so basically, every stage has a load of missions you can select, varying from find the Chow, collect the rings, etc, 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 and you get rankings based on that. You need every single one of those to be an A rank to unlock this stage. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Green Hill Zone. Oh, you remember this place. Ah, the green fields, the loop-de-loops, the classic chiptune soundtrack. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a shame this zone isn't the best zone in the world, because it is a little bit glitchy, and basically it's a one-to-one recreation of the actual 2D level from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, only increased in scale and just translated almost directly into 3D, you know, ladies and gentlemen. The level design is pretty much identical to what the original game was, only it's in 2D. I mean, it's in 3D. So, yeah, I can't complain about that, but I do love the fact you get the old whoop jump sound effect, you know. I like the fact that it has the old badding booping noise and whatnot, which I don't know why, but they got rid of like the old Sonic classic jumping sound effect in this game, and I have no idea why, and it's something that I don't think really returns properly until like Sonic Lost World, if I recall correctly, so it's a kind of a it's kind of a shame. But I say that in terms of like maybe, yeah, in terms of 3D games, it doesn't really return because the 2D games keep the Sonic boop jump sound effects. So I don't know. But yeah, it's a neat little bonus, but it is something that I wouldn't say is worth going A ranks for every mission, because it's just a lot of work for like a 1.5 minute level, you know. It's a pain in the ass, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe if we got something else, like, oh, I don't know, maybe Supersonic playable in normal levels, I don't know, maybe that would have been good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on into the GameCube era with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This is the GameCube port of Sonic Adventure 2, and it's basically improved in almost every single way. And why are we going to this version? That's because the gameplay systems themselves have been a lot more refined in the actual GameCube release, and I basically want to show off the GameCube release for all it's worth. For the most part, it's exactly the same game, you know, same levels, same mechanics for the most part. It's just everything's a little bit more refined, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I'm going into Skyrail Zone yet again in order to show off the Chao Gardens, because during the course of the LP, you've probably seen loads of Chao boxes lying about. In fact, there it is right there in the corner of the screen. These hold special keys. If you break these boxes open using like the somersault, you'll be able to pick up a Chao key, and if you beat the stage while holding a Chao key, you will go to the Chao Garden. And here in the Chao Garden, it acts like Sonic Adventure 1 for the most part. You get to raise these cute little critters called the Chao, which the system's been greatly refined and greatly improved in this game, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll get into that when we actually get into the garden itself. But as we go through each of the zones, as we play through the levels as they are, what we'll need to basically do is we will need to kill a lot of Bannocs. We will need to kill a lot of enemies to collect animals and to collect energy chaos drives, which are basically like the crystal things that they drop, in order to feed them to our Chao, just like Sonic Adventure 1, which will increase the stats. The chaos drives will increase the Chao stats by, well, basically just flat out increasing the stats, and the animals will increase the Chao stats while changing their appearance at the same time, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Which, basically gives you more options in the Chao raising sort of scene if you're into that, which I do appreciate. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, this game is pretty much identical to the actual Dreamcast counterpart. Maybe it's less colourful, but that's probably due to my the way I capture this footage, because what I've noticed is when I capture things through component cables, they're nowhere near as colourful as when I'm capturing something through like an RGB cable, which is what I use for my Dreamcast, so it's a bit of a shame, but hey, it's the best way to get picture quality out of the GameCube, so I am going to use this cable to get the best picture quality out of the GameCube. You know, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, now we got into Chow World itself, and Chow World is basically it's split up into a number of Chao guns you can actually get. You get a normal Chao gun when you first enter, then you can unlock 2 additional Chao guns depending on what type of Chao you raise in the future. For example, if you raise a Chao using an evil character like Shadow, you'll be able to make a Dark Chao, which will give us access to a Dark Chao garden, which basically looks like hell. And if we use a Chao for like, if we use like a hero character to raise our Chao, then the Chao will become a good Chao, and we can get like an angel hero Chao garden, which basically looks like heaven, and this thing's adorable. But yeah, like I said, the Chao system is greatly refined in Sonic Adventure 2. Instead of being just this basic Tamagotchi thing, and now in the original Sonic Adventure, now we have Chao that actually have, it's a full-fledged racing simulator, you know, these things have their own quirks, shall we say, ladies and gentlemen, so you can actually have Chaos make friends with each other, they can actually fall in love, they can have coitus and make new Chao and reincarnate and stuff. even get jealous of each other, you know, ladies and gentlemen. The Chow system is extremely, surprisingly in-depth for the most part, and I'm not going to cover the Chow system too much, and if the Chow loves you, you can whistle and he will run towards you. It's adorable, but I'm not going to go too in-depth with the Chow systems just because I don't know much about them, and I don't want to sound like an idiot because, truth be told, I did spend a great deal of time back when I was younger raising Chow, like an obnoxious amount of time. But the problem is, I basically forgot everything I knew about Chow raising, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So it's kind of awkward. But yeah, as you can probably guess, the Chow is in here somewhere that he's falling asleep on the little balcony up there. And this is the hero garden, you know. It's neat that you get multiple Chow gardens that you can unlock. I like it, but there you go. There's a hero Chow in progress. I'm not gonna wake him up because that's mean, and I don't like waking up Chow because it makes me feel sad. I'm like, no, I just woke him up. He's having a nice nap. Oh, why? But anyway, if we go over to here, this is the Chow the Chow School. Here you can access the black market where you can actually buy various items, such as items that give you Chow certain types of food that will modify your Chow's stats and what have you. And you can even pick up different types of Chow eggs as well to get different colored Chow. You can get seeds to plant trees, you can get apples, you can get bags and whatnot to place over the Chow's head. You know, you can get a lot of things in the black markets here. And if you go over to this point, there's a fortune teller. You can actually use this fortune teller in order to name your Chow. Basically, take your Chow in here. The fortune teller goes, hey, this is a good name for your Chow. And then, as always, you're probably going to go and say, fuck off, you're stupid. In that case, she'll say, okay, you think you can do better? She'll make you give the Chow a name yourself, which, you know. You can bring the Chow to the doctor here in order to get the Chow healed if the Chow has a cold, and you will even be able to find out what sort of personality the Chow has, which is kind of handy. And if you go to the principal will basically just teach you everything there is to know about Chow. There is a massive list of things to learn about how the Chow works, ladies and gentlemen, which I don't really want. I'm not getting into all this stuff because Jesus Christ, I'll be here for an age. And it's not fun. You can also grab your Chow as well and take them into a classroom. And if you do this, well, they will learn to do something. They will either learn to sing or play instruments or do something along those lines. You know, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, this entire system's been completely refined from the ground up, which I do appreciate. I love the Chow, you know. I wouldn't mind if they made a comeback in the latest Sonic game, I'll tell you that much. I probably wouldn't bother with them if they did come back in another Sonic game, because I'd much rather spend my time playing, you know, Sonic. But, you know, it's a feature I wouldn't mind if it made a return. I know Chow have a very big following. I know loads of people love their Chow. So, I wouldn't contest if Sega brought the Chow system back at some point in the future. But this is the Chow Race. Just like in Sonic Adventure 1, the Chow Race returns and you can enter your Chow into various tournaments. And of course, depending on how well you raise your Chow, you'll be able to do more and more and more things. And I'm only really going to show off one of these races because I can't really be bothered. And you do need to complete these Chow races in order to get emblems yet again. So, if you want to unlock everything in the game, then the Chow races are a mandatory thing. You will need to do all this in order to unlock 100% save files and what have you. Which is a bit annoying. But yeah, the Chow races are greatly improved just for one reason alone. The camera stays on your damn Chow. Like in Sonic Adventure 1, the camera shifts from Chow to Chow. In this one, the camera just shifts on your Chow, and I'm just happy about that because he's the only one I care about. Go on, Jibs! Do your thing. Yay! And also, if you press the A button as well, you see the stamina bar right to the screen. Well, you can actually deplete the stamina bar at will just by pushing the button, and it will give your Chow a little burst of speed, and you can sort of use this strategically at the very last stretch of a race or something in order to get a much needed boost if you're falling behind any AI races, which I do like. Speaking of things I like, I love the music track playing in the background. You probably can't hear me over me rambling about Chow, but The music track in the background of these Chow races is just absolutely phenomenal, you know, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. I like it a lot. And of course, all the Chow systems are still in the HD port as well. The only reason I didn't show off the HD version, for even though it has better picture quality, is just because I have an issue on my PC on the HD version where it occasionally freezes to black. When I'm playing on my own, it's not a big deal, but when I'm recording, I'm pretty sure that issue isn't a good thing to keep in videos. So I'm gonna be honest. I figured it'd probably be best to show off the refined version, which is the GameCube one. At least until I can fix my damn black screen freezing issue on the PC, because god damn it. Like, I hear there's something to do with my processor being incompatible or something. I'm just like, ah. But I just want to race my Chow. Is that all you can have? Is that all can't you give me what I want, Sega? But yeah, that's basically what the general gist of the Chow races are. And if we move back in here as well, we have access to Chow Karate. This is a feature exclusive to the battle version of Sonic Adventure 2, which means even if you have the HD version, you do need the battle DLC to access this. And what is it? Well, it's basically... It's kind of like Street Fighter with Chow, except you don't push any buttons, you just sort of wait for the Chow to fight. That's the best way I can put it. This is basically Street Fighter with Chow, except you don't even really do anything. You just sort of watch the Chow fight and duke it out, which is a bit cruel if you really think about it, but Jesus Christ, that roundhouse kick. Chuck Norris would be proud. But yeah, basically, it's a fighting minigame. You don't really do anything. Every now and then, your Chow can actually get discouraged, in which case you need to mash the A button in order to re-encourage him to continue fighting onwards, but yeah, apart from that, there's not really much to talk about in terms of the karate. You just sort of watch them fight. And I don't know why, I used to be addicted to Chow Karate when I was younger, even though it's as simple as just sitting there and watching them duke it out. I just used to love this when I first got the game on the GameCube years ago. You know, I did get the game first on the Dreamcast, but I basically sunk the majority of my time into the GameCube version. But anyway, that is it for this part. That is it for the LP. The LP is now officially done, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah, that's basically it. So when we return next time in the Sonic franchise, we will be returning with Sonic Advanced on the Game Boy Advance. And there's a fantastic game, if I do say so myself. So I hope you all tune in for that. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. Now catch you all then. Bye!